couple of weeks ago, the 1.21.4 update known as the Garden Awakens was released. With it came a brand new biome, a new mob, a new wood type, and a few other things. To go with the release of this update, I made a video ranking all of its features, which I enjoy doing as a bit of a recap for everything that came with the update. However, the comments on that video were pretty interesting compared to my other Minecraft stuff. They weren't insane. Now, actually, a lot of people talked about how they didn't even realize the update was coming out. This is in stark contrast to my 1.20 and 1.21 videos where most people were just commenting about how my list was wrong. But why is that? What made everyone forget that this update was even coming out? Well, let me take a step back because I've actually been using the wrong terminology for this throughout the intro. See, the Garden Awakens isn't an update, it's actually known as a drop. That's why this isn't being called 1.22, but instead it's just 1.21.4. It's not a full update. That seems to fit with the smaller amount of content contained within the package, but all of these comments really got me thinking. Are doing these drops really the best thing for the game? This is an entirely new approach Mojang is taking for Minecraft's development, and today I want to talk about this drop system and my opinion on it. Obviously, it is still really early, so my opinions may change as they go on, but I wanted to go ahead and give my current thoughts on the matter. I was actually planning on including this as part of my feature ranking video, but I thought a dedicated video was better instead. I also want to make sure that it's clear that this video is my opinion, and it's totally fine to disagree with my take. I mean, you're wrong, but if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's jump right in. So first I should probably start by outlining what exactly this drop system appears to be. Right now it's still not fully clear, but from what Mojang has said, instead of releasing one major update during the summer, as they've done for the past few years, they're going to shift to making several smaller updates throughout the year known as drops. Now we don't know how many drops we'll be getting per year, but I'm gonna guess around 4, with 2 being announced at every Minecraft Live, since they're also planning to hold 2 of those per year. Of the 4, I predicted 2 will be the size of the last drop, and the others will be much smaller, similar in scale to the Bundles of Bravery drop. Again though, that's just speculation. They could release 400 drops next year as far as I know. That's not to say bigger updates are going away, but Mojang did say that the gaps between them will get longer, so we're not going to be getting them yearly now. Essentially, instead of dropping everything all at once, the new features are going to be spread out throughout the year. Now we don't know 100% sure why they're adopting this new system as far as I know, but if I were to guess, it's because Minecraft fans are crybabies. If you've been on Twitter for the past 2 or 3 years, you've likely seen people constantly crying about the new features in every Minecraft update, or lack thereof. 1.19 and 1.20 got hit especially hard with this by people calling Mojang lazy because the amount of content in those updates were both pretty minuscule and not very exciting for them. Now I don't fully agree with this criticism because I like a lot of the blocks and features added in both of those updates, but it's clear to see that compared to stuff like the Nether update, they're certainly a bit weaker. Now I do want to note that I didn't really see much of this for 1.21, and I think that's great because I really liked the Tricky Trials update, but due to how vocal people were about the low amount of features in the updates beforehand, I still think that had a part to play in Mojang wanting to change their update model. In theory, with the drop model, we should be getting more features per year, which would in theory help quell the backlash a bit. But in practice, I feel like the drop model has introduced its own set of problems. I think the most obvious of these issues is the lack of hype. Say what you will about Minecraft's major updates, even if you think they're bad, a lot of people talk about them. 1.21 is an example of an update that was received extremely positively though, so let's take a look at that. Pretty much every new feature that got introduced to the snapshots got people more and more excited for the trial chambers to officially release. When wind charges were revealed, everyone was testing out all the cool things you could do with them. When the maces were revealed, everyone was freaking out about how powerful it could be as a weapon. And that continued with pretty much every feature unveiled for the Tricky Trials update, which made when it released extra exciting as we finally got a chance to play with all of these features in our worlds. However, I can't say there was even close to that level of excitement with the Garden Awakens. I don't think people dislike what was added here at all, but interest really seemed to die down after most of these features were revealed at Minecraft Live. Pretty much only the resin stuff was kept secret, and while it does look cool, it's not something that will drum up excitement in most people. These drops not having as many features makes it so the hype doesn't really build on itself for when it finally releases. Tricky Trials is packed with a ton of exciting features that made the update something to actually look forward to. On the other hand, the Garden Awakens, while I like a lot of the stuff here, just didn't have most people looking really closely for its release date. And I think that's just going to continue with each and every drop. It'll get a few people interested, but without the large amount of features from a new update, it won't excite a lot of people. That excitement is really important for Minecraft due to just how old the game is. I mean, it's older than 90% of you watching. That excitement is what keeps the game alive and brings people back to play it more. And as someone who makes Minecraft videos, I would really appreciate the game staying relevant. Whatever I have to switch to next year. Mario, save me. Excitement for a new update is also one of the most motivating things to get people to start new worlds. Sure, there are a lot of people that just stick with the same world throughout every update, but I'd say a majority of the Minecraft fanbase constantly makes new survival worlds. New updates are a big reason why people do that, which in turn gets them hooked back into the game, even if only for a few weeks. With how massive the normal updates were, it was fun to make a new world for each to easily explore all of the brand new features. But now let's look at the drops in comparison. The Garden Awakens is certainly cool, but is it big enough to motivate people into starting something new? I'm gonna say probably not. If all the drops are of similar size, then I think people are just gonna get stuck in a loop of, oh, this is cool, but not worth starting a new world for. And then they're just going to continue to not play the game until an update comes that is worth making a new world for. So even if we get the same amount of features per year, with them being drip fed to us, it may not hook people back into the game like those big updates were able to do. One other thing that helps with the hype is just how focused the major updates are. Pretty much every major update has a theme behind it. Tricky Trials focused on the trial chambers, Village and Pillage focused on villages and raids, and the Nether update, you never guess. Granted, some major updates are definitely a bit all over the place, adding a bunch of random stuff, but the most well-liked ones are generally focused on one aspect of the game. Being major updates, it allows them to go super in depth with each of these and make a ton of groundbreaking changes. Tricky Trials is so good because of all the features they are able to fit inside of the trial chambers that make it not only worth going to, but worth going to a lot. Taking a look back at the Pale Garden though, a lot of people think it's a bit underwhelming. Not necessarily bad, but there is a sense of incompleteness to the biome, like they didn't go as far in depth as they could have. Where's the white pumpkin? That's probably because this is a drop, so they have a lot less time to work on the feature and really expand on it for its full potential. So numerically, we may end up getting the same amount of features per year through the drop system, but they're likely going to be a bit underbaked compared to the super highly polished content in the major updates. Even outside of the hype issue though, these drops can possibly cause a few problems for the people that do decide to keep playing in the same worlds. Minecraft updates have always caused trouble to pre-existing worlds. This is not normal. Granted, there have been far less bugs in recent times when it comes to updating worlds, but there are some problems that just can't be fixed. Whenever the game updates, stuff like mods, resource packs, and data packs have to get updated too, and if the drops are going to be more frequent, it's going to cause people to go through this process a lot more often as well. More importantly though, it's going to actually get harder to find the new features. For something like the bundles, it's totally fine since you don't need to go out of your way in the world to find it, but for the Pale Garden, that's a biome you need to actually locate in your world. If you've already loaded a lot of the chunks around you, you'll have to move out farther to find it. This is an issue with normal updates too, but at least it was only once per year. The drop system is like if they released the Trail Ruins and Cherry Blossoms at 2 separate times. Now instead of having to go out exploring once for both of them, you have to go on a different trip for each thing, loading more chunks and causing the features from the drop stuff to get even further away. Again, this is an issue with normal updates too, it's just that the drop system makes it even worse. At least the Wandering Trader can give you some stuff, I guess. Also, I think I should give my own perspective on how I usually play the game since I think that's important too. After all, I said this is my opinion, so my experience likely influences that a little bit. As a college student who is also doing YouTube at the same time, I really don't have a lot of time to actually play games, especially during the school year. I mean, I haven't even gotten a chance to touch Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, which came out this year and was something I've been really looking forward to. It's a stupid game anyway. So with that being said, I don't play a lot of Minecraft during the school year outside of getting footage, and the stupid Bedrock events for the cape. Whoa! Really, most of my experience with Minecraft is watching YouTube videos. Shoutouts to Hermitcraft. And myself. Personally, what I do gameplay-wise is pretty much make a new survival world with my friends every summer, which is a lot of fun. Update-wise, that also worked out extremely well for us since we would start basically in line with each update, making the whole experience more exciting since there would be something new. But now with this drop system, we don't really have that same excitement. By the time we actually get a chance to start a new world, the Garden Awakens stuff will already be 6 months old. Maybe there will be another drop that lines up with our summer gameplay, but again, with it being smaller than a full update, it'll be a lot less exciting to go explore. When Tricky Trials came out, we had a lot of fun going through several trial chambers, but I can't see the same amount of long-lasting fun coming from the Pale Garden. So for me, I can't even experience playing Minecraft much throughout the year, so this drip feeding approach just sort of lessens the excitement I feel when I actually do get to play. So in my personal opinion, I don't think I'm a fan of the drop system. The big updates really gave us something to actually look forward to, but with these drops, it feels like the features are a lot less impressive. I will say, it does seem that people have held back on the backlash in terms of the amount of content, but I think people have also held back the praise they give to the updates like Tricky Trials or the Nether update. Now I could be totally off the mark here and just judging based on my own personal experience, but I really don't feel the hype of the Pale Garden drop, and I think there's a pretty good chance that continues on for drops in the future. Who knows, maybe future drops just need to have more exciting features, but for me, I think I'll always just prefer the major update approach. If it were up to me personally, I think they should do a drop and a major update per year. I don't dislike the idea of drops as they can allow Mojang to add something smaller to the game, but replacing strong and focused major updates every year just sounds like the wrong play. I was actually really curious to see what you all thought, so I took a community poll. Guys! No, I'm just kidding, we didn't get a 50-50 this time. Most people, at least in my audience, seem to like the drop system more, but it is extremely close. I'm really curious to see how people's opinions change in the future, but for me, I think I'm personally a bit against the drop system. But anyways, that's it for this video. Do you love the Bats of Pots drop and hate me for not mentioning it? Let me know in the comments. I know this is a bit of a shorter video, but I've been kind of working on 2 videos at once since the second one takes a long time to get footage for, so hopefully both videos end up being enjoyable. Before we go though, I gotta make sure to thank my members, being Mikey Fuller, MaidZO2, Shrugface Ryan, and Miss Jades a lot, I'm Not Denny BG, Bort Loco, Gnarled, Yanni the Duck, SMA, B Major 2003, Arson the Raboot, Sir Musty, Kid Trunks 15, Belandor, Puggles are Fun, Trader Mo, Diluted Colors, Cinder CC, G, Jade Avery, Punzel Clone, Thicky Reiki, SJ100, Ungenio TM, CW McCain, Tibby, JubeTube Z, Tesseract, Nuclear, Mr. McMahon 5702, Sebi, Hippopotamus, Thick Rib, Jameson Pageson, Wilbur, Golden Saints 15, Frost, Stuffy Ants, Justex, Conconuts, Keep, and Christian Flattery Sequel Edition. But anyways, dry bones for Smash, and I'll see you guys next time.